Well, hello, good morning everybody. Welcome back. Jiujitsu2000 here today. I'm back, and today I've got a new flashlight offering from Wowtac. This is model A5. This is the cool white version. I'm very excited about this new offering from Wowtac. Pull the box open like this, and the first thing we see is the owner's manual. Very nice manual here. And the part that I like to read is this part right here, where it talks about all the technical parameters of the flashlight. So this flashlight has a lot of modes. It's got Firefly of 0.3 lumens. That'll last for 37 days. Then you can go up to low of 30 lumens for 46 hours. That's almost 2 days. Medium is 300 lumens for 10.2 hours. And then of course high is 1750 for 8 minutes. And then it scales down to something. It doesn't specify what it scales down to, but it does come down for an additional 140 minutes. So that's 2 hours and 20 minutes. And then you can go up to turbo of 3650 lumens. That'll last for 3 minutes. And then it scales itself down for an additional 130 minutes. So 2 hours and 10 minutes. The distance of throw on this flashlight is 234 meters. The candela rating is 13,750. It has a 1.5 meter impact resistance for dropping the light, and it's also IPX-8 standard, and I believe that IPX-8 is down to 2 meters. So right here it gives you brief descriptions of how to turn the light on and off, how to cycle through the modes, talks about the memory function, and it also talks about the recharging function of the light. So that's the owner's manual, very simple. And the next thing that we see in the package is a very nicely well packaged light. Set that aside for a second, and we will get this foam out of the way and the silica gel. We don't need that, but you'll see right here we have a USB 2 to micro USB recharging cable. So that's included. So this is cool because you can use this in your wall outlet. You can use this to charge in your vehicle. You can do it off of a power bank, a battery bank, on power inverters, solar panels, all kinds of ways to charge this light. It's cool that they include that cable with it. And then last but not least is this package right here, which includes 2 additional O-rings and a lanyard for the light. So now let's take a look at the light itself. Now this light I'm very excited about, and I want to give a quick thank you to the folks at Wowtac for sending this out for review. I really like this. It has the 26650 battery platform, and I'll talk about that, why I'm so excited about that here a little more in this video. This is running the CREE XHP70 LED. You can see that the reflector is a nice orange peel design. The lens is made out of glass. You can see right here on the head of the flashlight there are some cutouts. These are to disperse the heat. So as the head gets hot, the heat will dissipate out into the atmosphere, thus cooling the flashlight. On the head you can also see a stainless steel bezel here. Very nice glass lens, like I mentioned. And there's a look at the button, the power button. And it's very easy to find. You can feel it. It's got like a rubber feel to it. The machining on this light is exceptional. Right here on the bottom is the USB micro USB port for charging the flashlight. Now one thing that I will say is make sure that you put this rubber in there nice and solid, otherwise you might lose that IPX-8 waterproof standard. You can unscrew the battery tube from the head of the flashlight. We'll take a look at that in a second. But here's a nice high quality flashlight head. Everything is very clean, very nice. And also on the battery tube, you can see right here, there's one of the O-rings. And let's pull this battery out. So this is a 26650 lithium ion rechargeable battery operating at 3.7 volts, 18.5 watt hours, 5,000 milliamp hour high discharge performance lithium ion rechargeable battery. Boy, that was a mouthful. Very nice battery for the money. The price point, speaking about the money, the price point of this flashlight currently, as I film this video, is around $50. So now we take a look at the battery tube. Now you can unscrew the tail cap here from the battery tube, and you can see the additional O-ring right there on the bottom. So there's two O-rings, one on the bottom, one on the top, and those two O-rings are, again, that's what they use to get the IPX-8 waterproof standard. So it's very nice. Here's a look at the dual springs on the tail cap. I think they did an exceptional job building this light. Very nice. There's the lanyard hole. So let's go ahead and put this thing back together. We'll screw the battery tube into the head, make sure that it's nice and tight, and then we'll insert the battery with the positive side into the head of the flashlight. So this is labeled very well. You got a nice positive indicator here and a negative indicator there. Again, the flat on the negative and the little plus on the positive. So it's very easy to insert the battery. And the thing that I really like about this light is the dual springs on the tail cap. That is amazing. There's not a lot of flashlight companies that actually put the attention to detail in the tail cap like Wowtac does. And for this to be a budget friendly light, you know, at a $50 price point, that's an exceptional light. Big bang for the money. Okay, let's take a look and talk about how we operate this flashlight. It's very similar to what we've seen in many flashlights that I've reviewed. Let's go to the first setting of Firefly. And to get to Firefly, what we're going to do is we're going to push and hold the button until we get to that Firefly mode. You can see that it's illuminated at 0.3 lumens. And again, the runtime on this setting is 37 days. That's crazy. If we push the button again, it'll turn the light off. And if we give it just a quick push, the light will turn on. And it'll turn on to the last mode that was accessed, with the exception of strobe or turbo. So it looks like the light was on low. 30 lumens for 46 hours. So that's just short of 2 days. You can also notice that there is a blue indicator on the switch. That's telling us that our battery life is good. If this indicator was to turn to red or even flashing red, that's telling us that the battery is dead. Okay, now to change modes, what we're going to do is we're going to push and hold this button and it'll cycle through the modes. Low, medium, high. Low, medium. Let's talk about medium. 300 lumens for 10.2 hours. Okay, now let's bump it up to high. There's low, medium, high. High is 1750 lumens, again for 8 minutes, and then it drops down for an additional 140 minutes. Now that's 2 hours and 20 minutes of runtime after it steps down. And some of you might be wondering, well, what's the point of a flashlight stepping down? The reason they do that is so that the flashlights don't overheat. Now to get to turbo, we're going to double click the power button very quickly. 1, 2. Okay, now we are at turbo, which is 3650 lumens for 3 minutes. Then it'll scale itself down to prevent overheating for an additional 130 minutes. Again, that's 2 hours and 10 minutes after the step down. Now if I double click this light quickly again, we're going to enter the strobe function. There's the strobe function. This is 2100 lumens, and this will last for 180 minutes. Very disorienting. That's 3 hours of runtime on strobe. Now a single click turns the light off, and then if we turn it on, it'll go to the last setting that wasn't turbo or strobe, which in our case is high. And if we cycle through again, let's say we're on low, and we turn the light off, we turn it back on, the memory will bring it back to low. If we go up to medium, for example, and we turn it off, and then we turn it back on, it'll go back to medium, and the same thing happens with high. If we turn it off and back on, it'll come back to high. And I love the way it works. I've got it on Firefly now. It's just a very simple flashlight. Now, a lot of people might complain and they might say, well, there's no lockout function. How am I going to get it from locking out? Okay, so let's go down to low for a minute, so I'm not blinding the camera here. Turn the light off. If we rotate this head about 1/4 of a turn, we should enter the manual lockout mode. Okay, so it doesn't take a lot. If you turn this back, now we're going to turn the light on into low. Again, let me show that one more time. We're just going to grab here and twist. Anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 turn. Then you can throw this in your pack, and you don't have to worry about the light coming on or anything being damaged or anything like that. Works just fine. Another thing that I want to talk about with this light is the fact that it operates on other batteries. Okay, so let's take that 26650 out, and we are going to get a battery cell that's a 21700. Okay, so we'll put this 21700 battery in the tube here. Make sure the positive is towards the head of the flashlight. And this is a standard 21700 battery. We're going to turn this all the way, everything's tight. Look at that. The flashlight works just fine with a 21700 battery. So if you have extra batteries laying around the house, you'll get the same performance as far as the brightness of the light, but your run times will fluctuate according to the amp hour rating of the battery that you're using. Okay, so we were able to do that with a 21700 battery. Okay, so now you can do the same thing with an 18650. If you purchase one of these little sheaths to put the battery into, then you can put that in there, and it basically turns it into a 21700. But now we're running an 18650. Again, cycle through the modes. Let's go to turbo. Okay, so now we're operating this light on an 18650. This is one of the reasons I really like the 26650 battery platform, because it opens the range of other batteries to be used. So we have 3 different batteries that we can use with this flashlight. And these little adapters, you can find these all over the internet. They're on Amazon, they're on eBay, all kinds of places. Okay, and if you can't find one, maybe you can find a little piece of pipe and cut off a little section that'll fit in the tube here. It's not that difficult, just something that'll fit inside that the battery will fit in. Okay, it's not that big of a deal. It's very simple, very easy to do. So let's turn it on. It's on low. Before we dunk it, we want to make sure that this rubber is intact. Let's put that baby underwater. No problems. So that light can clearly go underwater. Now if we push and hold, there's medium, there's high, there's turbo, and there's strobe. Let's go to moonlight mode or firefly mode. Everything's working just fine. No problems here. Cycling through. So it definitely passes the waterproof testing. No problem at all. Good. This is the portion of the flashlight testing that I always hate doing. This is the drop test. Let's turn it on. It's on low right now. I'm going to drop it on concrete from about hip high. There's one drop. Let's go face down. 2. And let's go tail cap down. 3. Let's take a look and see what we've got here. The light is still on. Let's see, did we get any damage that's noticeable? Let me turn the light off real quick. I'm not noticing any damage on the head that looks bad. That stainless steel bezel did a good job. How about the tail cap of the light? A little bit of minor scrapes. Nothing too crazy. And on the body of the light, I'm not seeing anything. Now let's take a look and see if the light will cycle through the modes. There's low, medium, high. Let's try for turbo. Turbo is there. Let's go for strobe. Strobe's there. Turn it off. On. Back to low. Turn it off. Let's go to Firefly. And Firefly is on. So that flashlight was able to pass the impact test. I am on Firefly mode right now. This is 0.3 lumens, and on this setting it'll last for 37 days. So this is a good setting for reading. If you got something you want to read, or if you want to look inside of your pack, or maybe walk around if it's really dark outside. Now if I pan the camera down and I'm shining it on the concrete, you can barely see what's going on. But I'll be honest with you, the camera does not really justify the amount of light. I would prefer a higher lumen rating for Firefly, maybe half a lumen or 1 lumen. But 0.3, again, it gives you 37 days of runtime. So now I'm going to bump this up to low now. And let's see here. So now we're on low. And on this setting, we're dealing with 30 lumens. The runtime for this is 46 hours, which is a lot of runtime. And if you notice on the light here, you'll see this little blue light dipping around. That's the power, the battery power indicator. So blue means your battery is good. If your battery starts getting low, you'll see that indicator turn red and then eventually flashing red. So again, that's low. 30 lumens for 46 hours. Now if I bump it up to this setting, this is medium. And medium's a good setting on this. This is 300 lumens. This is a good setting, and this will last 10.2 hours. So again, you can see that blue battery indicator, battery level indicator. I think that's really cool. 300 lumens gives you a lot of light. You can really see a pretty good distance. And let's go up to the next setting. Let's see, there's low, medium. Now we're dealing with high. High is 1750 lumens. That's a good amount of light. You can see there's kind of a large hot spot. This is a big flood. I really like this light. It's got a big flood. Okay, so 1750 lumens for 8 minutes. And then it scales itself down, and it doesn't specify what it scales itself down to, but 8 minutes at 1750, and then it scales down to something for 140 minutes. So that's 2 hours and 20 minutes of whatever it scales down to after 8 minutes. Now if I double click the button, let's go to turbo. Now we're dealing with 3,650 lumens. That's going to be for 3 minutes. And then it scales down to something, doesn't specify, but it scales down for an additional 130 minutes. Now that's 2 hours and 10 minutes. Now if I double click again, we'll go to the strobe setting. Strobe is 2100 lumens, and this will last for 180 minutes or 3 hours. So this is a nice light, this Wowtac Model A5. Let's go ahead and put it on Firefly again. There's Firefly. Now I'll go through the modes again. Let's go back down to low here. Again, there's low. There's medium. There's high. And there's turbo. Very nice. Very bright. Here's strobe. Very good light. Now if we compare the Wowtac A5 to the Sofern SP33, what we're comparing here is the size of the light. Okay, so it's much smaller. So we're looking at a $50 price point, and over here we're looking at about a $42 price point. So for like $8 difference, we're getting 3650 lumens, where the Sofern is only going up to 2500 lumens. So we're getting a lot of more lumens, over 1,000 more lumens for $8 more. So the Sofern is still a good light. Now if you want to look at another through night offering, okay, and the reason I'm bringing through night up into this video is because Wowtac is manufactured by through night. So if you look at the through night model TC20, okay, this is also a 26650 battery platform flashlight, and it also runs on the same LED, the XHP70. Now this flashlight here, this TC20, runs for about 90 bucks. Now I'm proud to say that Wowtac gets similar run times as the TC20 for about half the price. So that's pretty cool. You're looking at 3650 lumens for the A5 and 3800 lumens for the through night. Now the through night is brighter, but also the through night is a larger flashlight, and it's $90. So you're getting almost the same performance out of this guy at a much lower price. Just looking at the size of the light alone, it's shorter and it's a lot skinnier in diameter. If you look at the head of the flashlight, it fits almost inside. In fact, it's almost the diameter of the body of the through night. The through night is an exceptional light as well. It has the charging port on the back, just like the Wowtac does. But now let's take a look at the Olight R50 Pro Seeker. Okay, so the Olight is running the same LED as the Wowtac A5, and so was the through night. They run, all three of these run the same exact LED. Now the differences that I'm noticing between the R50 Pro Seeker is the price, the battery capacity, and the lumen rating. So the price on this guy is about $140. Okay, so you could get almost 3 of these for the price of one Olight. Now the Olight does have magnetic charging, which is a very nice feature. I like that. But when you're talking about the lumen levels, the R50 Pro Seeker goes up to 3200 lumens. And then again, if you look at the battery and you try to compare batteries, you're dealing with 4500 milliamp hour proprietary battery. So if the R50 Pro Seeker battery was to fail, you have to buy their battery, which this is an exceptional light. With the Wowtac A5, you don't have the magnetic tail charging, so the benefit to that is you can charge it using the head of the flashlight, using your cable, and if you don't want to do it that way, you can put this on a standard lithium-ion rechargeable battery charger. So it's a standard battery is what I'm saying. So if the battery dies, you can find 26650s all day long to replace if needed. So for 50 bucks, this Wowtac A5, I would definitely say that it can compete with all of these guys very easily. I mean, it's definitely in the running with these guys. If you look at them and I line them up and try to put them in a line and push a box against them here so that they're all the same size. You can see the size difference between them right here. It becomes very noticeable. And they're all good lights. They all work very well. But you know, the prices, these two are just expensive. They're good lights, but they cost a lot of money. The Sofern is a good light, and the Wowtac A5 is a good light. So if you had to compare, you know, maybe the Sofern and the Wowtac, that's really a decision that you have to make within yourself. But you know, you get more lumens out of this guy. It's a good light. Well folks, I want to say thank you for stopping by on this video of the Wowtac Model A5. I hope you got some good useful information out of this video. I want to say thank you to Wowtac once again for sending this light out for review. I really enjoyed it. The size of this thing is awesome. This is a small package for the amount of product that you're getting. I want to say thank you to all the people watching. I hope you got some good useful information out of this video. Please feel free to leave your comments down below, like this video, share this video, and as always, thanks again for stopping by. Please make sure to check the description box because I'll put a link to where you can find this. One more thing before I go. If you purchase a Wowtac A5 and you do an honest review on Amazon, they will include, or they will send you, a Wowtac Model A1 for free. So until next time, have a beautiful day. We'll see you. Bye for now.